Yeah, so thank you for this opportunity. First of all, in a room full of administrators and teachers and students, I don't know if my story is going to motivate you or if it's going to awaken your brains, nothing of that. I'm just going to share what I've done so far, how I do it, and what inspired me or made me learn what to do and how I do it. That's just about it. So my grandfather owned the school I studied in, and I know how that sounds, but trust me, it's not like how you imagine. I was aware of that privilege when I was a teenager, but it was like it removed most of my pride. Imagine being a teenager and have your whole world look at you, look at every dumb stuff that you do, like being a teenager and doing every dumb stuff you do, and with a microscope. And that's the worst part. But somehow, my classmates, my friends, they always saw me as a normal other student. But with teachers and the students apart from that classroom, I was always seen. So my classroom somehow it worked. So that's the awareness of me having that privilege. It shaped how I observed looking at the classroom long before I started leading it. So my classroom, we were a class of I think 28, and 28 of us knew where we were from, what our parents do, what is our strengths, what's our weaknesses, everything. We somehow worked. We got along. There was no enmity. There was no அவன் sharpener எடுத்துட்டா eraser எடுத்துட்டா. Nothing of that. It's very silly, but I'm telling you, it starts there. It somehow worked not just because we were all first rank students or straight A students, nothing like that. But we started empowering each other in a way that everybody was kind of jealous of us, somehow. And if there was an issue that arises between us, we would, in a usual classroom, it immediately split into 2 or 4 groups. That's what usually happens. But what happened in my class, we'll sit together, figure out why and what the issue was, talk about it, get each other's perspectives, and solve it. I don't know how that happened. Maybe we had some really good teachers that helped us and guided us, but I'll get back to that. That environment really helped me to think of something. Like, how did the same culture, that classroom culture, varied in the same school? We had the same set of teachers. My immediate juniors and maybe the next 2 sets were almost like us. But after that, or any other inter schools we go to, we never see that culture. We don't see that 28 of us sitting together and rooting for each other. No, there will be some kind of issue or some kind of silly thing. And I kept thinking, how did that happen? And why isn't it in other schools? So that kind of stayed with me. But like all things should come to an end, so did that spell of us being happy and united and yes, yay, empowerment. That just stopped. So in the last part of my school years, group formation happened. And we started talking badly about each other. And somehow that system we built for so many years, it just weakened, just went away. It slowly broke down, the culture broke down. And it was largely because of the teacher dynamics that happened in that time. But it was because also our unity was stopped being protected. It was not because of a single teacher. It was not because, they had some vengeance, nothing like that. It's just, but there was no system also in place to prevent it from happening. And it really matters because no culture just stops suddenly and loudly. It just quietly erodes away. So even through that shift, my learning continued. Ultimately, my class started like, okay, what is the issue? Can we just sit and talk about it? And it happened, but it was too late. Like, I think we had about a week or 2 before we graduated, and there was barely nothing after staying together for 12 years, 12 to 14 years. Thankfully, we're all in touch right now, but still, that 1-2 weeks of your school is everything. So through that, we discovered discipline, we discovered ourselves, we learned to push ourselves, and it's not a story of failure, But it is a lesson in how fragile a thing can be. And a strong classroom culture isn't permanent. It only survives when the adults around that classroom are actively trying to protect it. That understanding somehow followed me into my leadership. So, as an administrator, I don't evaluate my classrooms by the noise levels or the grades, which majority of India, only the exceptional students are recognized through grades, in my opinion. But I try to look beyond that. I look for patterns. I look for students who speaks without hesitation, who withdraws early, and how mistakes are handled. And if the group formations are happening, is there someone trying to prevent it from happening? All of these help you see a pattern overall. And right now, most of the classroom culture, it isn't intentionally designed. That's what I would like to do. It's just left unexamined. So the core idea of this talk is that classroom culture is a system of repeated behaviors protected or neglected by the adults around it. So when we rely on goodwill alone, the culture becomes kind of fragile. But when we rely on fear, the students become submissive. They don't come to you at all. And you don't want that. Neither of that produces resilient students. So a strong classroom culture, I believe, should do these three things. First would be, they should protect these students from adult dynamics. Students should never have to carry the weight or the politics of the staff or the institutional conflict. When the adults' tension leak down towards them, their unity fractures. It just shatters and giving them an overwhelming sense of underconfidence. You don't want that to happen. And it's not just the teacher's failure. It is also an administrative responsibility, I think. Second, they mostly we have to try replace the fear-based discipline, not reduce it, replace it completely. Fear only creates short-time control and a long-time withdrawal from you. And what you have to do is give them predictable consequences, give them restorative accountability, and that will create responsibility organically. You don't have to go say you have to do this. They themselves will know what you have to do and what you don't have to do. So discipline ensures correct behavior without damaging the student's identity. Third, we have to design unity intentionally. Gone are the days that unity it just forms organically. Right now, the world is divided and the students is exposed to all those kind of divisions. We are even fighting about whether a dress is blue or yellow. So when the students are exposed to that, it's unfair to them that we have to ask them to be united or whatever. So what we should do is give them structured collaborations, have a rotating leadership within the class, give them mixed group responsibilities, and intervene when divisions happen. You have to be hyper aware of all of them. Your attention is needed for the students. And I don't speak about the classroom culture just as an abstract. I've been through it. I know what. I've experienced its strength. I've seen how it just erodes. And now I hold responsibility for shaping it. So the classroom culture will always exist in classrooms. The only question is whether it's accidental or it's intentional. So when we take responsibility for designing the classroom culture, we don't just improve the behavior or the performance. We create environments for these students to thrive and grow without fear. And that's how classrooms shape infinite futures. Not occasionally, but with consistency. Thank you.